Hi, I'm Kris Kuyper in the Fox 26 Weather Center, and today is day 2 of the raging wildfires in Southern California. Let's take a minute to talk about the Eden, the Palisades, and now the Sunset fires burning in Southern California near Los Angeles. Here's a satellite picture, and you see smoke coming out from especially the Eden fire and kind of going over the Palisades fire as well, putting out a big plume of smoke into the Pacific Ocean here through the course of the day today. Looking at a few time lapses of the fire. This is from near Topanga Canyon, and you see the fire is just working its way, just kind of roaring across some of the countryside here and some of the canyon walls here, and just really taking out the vegetation very quickly. Here's another example of it. Earlier on, you see the vegetation nicely showing up in this time lapse, and then we get a couple of hours later into the day here, and you see, boy, once the smoke clears a little bit, it's just gone. I mean, you expect that of a fire, but it's still a little dramatic to see, at least in my opinion here. So we are talking about two big fires here. The Palisades fire is the first one that started on Tuesday, and then Tuesday evening, the Eaton fire started near Altadena, and now a third one started actually towards the Hollywood Hills called the Sunset fire, and that one's growing pretty quickly as well, fueled by, again, these strong wind gusts that we have going on, and they're still roaring across many areas of Southern California. Now, in some places, the winds died down a bit on Wednesday, like Burbank, where we had 84-mile-an-hour wind gusts on Tuesday. Thankfully, not quite that strong on Wednesday, but still 48-mile-an-hour wind gusts are pretty strong. But other areas, the winds were just as strong as they were on Tuesday. Malibu Hills, which is near the Palisades fire, 90-mile-an-hour gusts yesterday, 89-mile-an-hour gusts on Wednesday. Similar situation. Henninger Ridge is near the Eaton fire, and that also had some pretty strong winds, gusting 85 on Tuesday and 90 miles an hour on Wednesday. And Laurel Canyon, which is now near the Sunset fire, similar wind gusts in that region as well. So the winds still roaring. What causes these offshore winds that we've got going on? It's a simple difference in the pressures across California and Nevada. Now, in northern Nevada, we've got strong high pressure set up right now. Over Boise, Idaho, the barometer reads 30.44 inches of mercury. That is pretty high. Southern California, the barometer is a lot less, 30.09 inches of mercury in Los Angeles. That's a pretty big difference in the atmosphere here. Mother Nature does not like that, and she's going to try to even it out. And so she does that by pushing air from high pressure to low pressure, does it in a hurry. That creates the gusty winds. And then sometimes those winds get channeled in between some of the passes and the canyons of the gaps there of the San Gabriel Mountains, San Bernardino Mountains, which accelerates them further. So we can get potentially some very windy conditions down across parts of the Southland of California. Now we look at what's going to happen in the next few days here. And looking at Thursday, well, looks like, again, here we are, Thursday, 10:30 in the morning, and looking towards the San Gabriel Mountains, certainly looking like the winds is going to start to pick up there again. Not so bad in the LA basin itself, but again, in the mountains where the fires are, it could be a gusty time of it again Thursday morning. Thursday evening, well, they're going, but not quite as strong. And then as we get into Friday, that's when we turn a corner. We see the pressure differences even out there across California and Nevada, and the winds really calm on down. So it's really looking like Friday is going to be our big day of seeing the winds calm down. The wind was certainly a major reason for fueling these fires, but it wasn't the only one. Another reason is that it's been so doggone dry out there. Let's take a look at some of the rainfall totals here from Los Angeles to LAX. 0.03 of an inch of rain so far this rain season. Rain season begins October 1st in California. So, boy, normally we've had about 4 1/3 inches of rain, so we are about 4 1/3 inches of rain behind normal because we haven't had hardly any rain in downtown Los Angeles. Let's go a little closer to the foothills, go towards Burbank, and it's pretty much the same situation. 0.09 of an inch of rain since October 1st. Normally we've had about a little over 4 inches of rain, so we are way behind as far as the rain goes for the early rain season. Now, it's doing exactly what you would expect it to do to the vegetation out there. How dry are the fuels out there? One way we can examine that is by looking at the energy release component. And that's a measure that firefighters use to see just how dry the fuels are. So here we are, and looking at some of these squiggly lines here. The blue line, that is what we are currently doing. That shows how dry the fuels are at the moment. The gray line is showing how dry they are typically. So typically for January 8th or so, they should be in this ballpark here. We are much drier than that. In fact, you compare this little gray line, let's just go way out here, all the way to where we are right now, which is right there. So we go right there to about there, August. We are seeing fuels down in the LA basin that are typically as dry as they are in August right now out there, which is crazy dry for January. And that's another reason. So the fuels are just ready to go. You just put a little spark out there and you add the wind, and those fuels just go up. And we're seeing that right now in Southern California.